Never felt that, come on, yeah. Never felt that, come on, yeah. When I never felt that, come on, yeah. You gotta get up.
Look at the physical geography of the Russian core. Surprisingly, the Russian core consists of Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus. And there's also that tiny country of Moldova that the book pretends doesn't exist, or it's not in the book anywhere. The Ural Mountains are considered the dividing point between Europe to the west and Asia. The iron ore, other minerals, 1,230 miles from the Arctic Ocean to the Caspian Sea. Caucasus Mountains separates the Black and the Caspian Sea. Mount Elbrus, largest mountain in the region. People like to go skiing there. Northern European plain, we talked about that before. Chernozem, topsoil, most fertile soils in the world, all throughout Northern Europe, Ukraine, Russia. We talked about it throughout Europe, Poland, etc. Wheat, barley, rye, oats. There's your basic large seed grasses. The majority of the Russian people live here because it was a constant source of food. Siberia, giant and very harsh. If we take a look at our climograph, you can see that the temperatures vary greatly from really, really cold to really, really hot. Could vary. Ukraine is the second largest country in Europe. Kiev is the capital. Dominantly plains. It was called the breadbasket of the Soviet Union when the Soviet Union was a thing. Plateaus. The Crimean Peninsula has traditionally Mediterranean climate, always been a resort area all the way back to the Tsars to today. Belarus, smallest of the Slavic Republic. Minsk is the capital. They have a mixed bag of democracy / dictatorship. Landlocked, which is going to limit economic activities. Fairly flat. Land of 1,000 lakes. It's like the Minnesota of Eastern Europe. Swamp. The Volga is the longest river in Europe. Caspian Sea. Commercial transportation. Hydroelectric resource in Russia. Dnieper River through the Ukraine. Predominant source of their hydroelectric power. Transport as well. Canals pretty much supply water from this river to the vast majority of the Ukrainian. Siberian rivers. During the winter months, the mouths of these rivers will freeze, leading to floods. Lake Baikal, it's really hard to tell with the font that I picked. Thought it looked Russian-y, but that first letter is a B. Lake Baikal is the oldest lake in the world, dated back for 25 million years. It's also the deepest, 5,715 feet deep. It holds 1/5 of all the unfrozen water found on the planet. It has many unique animals and marine species due to its age and isolation. Climate, biomes, and resources. So here again is a comparison of the Russian latitude towards the United States. You can see that the vast majority of the country is farther north than all of the continental United States. Tundra, the farthest north subregion. Large landmass. Those are the northern lights. During the winter months, you'll get 24 hours of night. Permafrost is exactly that. The ground is permanently frozen. The subarctic climate zone, that would be like really cold. Boreal forest, those are coniferous forests. In Russia, they refer to it as the Taiga, or the taiga. And kind of neat, I think, in the taiga, you can find tigers. Mid-latitude biomes is, of course, where the majority of the people live, because who wants to live where you're constantly freezing? Here's our Northern European plain, so it's going to be our agricultural center. You'll also find deciduous forests. The steppe climate, that's our Chernozem that we talked about earlier. Steppe, plains, grass, similar to where you live. So continentality, which basically means you get this extreme variation in temperature because there's no water, relatively speaking, to this huge landmass. Russia, abundant natural resources. Unfortunately, many of them are in remote areas, making them difficult to utilize. You can see many of them are north, so you're going to be dealing with permafrost. 16% of the world's petroleum, world coal, natural gas, nickel, aluminium. Ukraine, iron ore and granite. Belarus, peat. We've had the peat discussion before. I'm hoping you remember what that is. And that brings us to the end of the physical geography of the Russian core.